Good morning everyone. I'm in my veggie patch this morning and today I thought I'd take you on a garden tour. Now if you're new around here, my name is Candice. We live in Queensland, Australia, and we live on just under 2 acres. Now we've got quite a few jobs to do today and I figured I might as well take you with me and then just give you a couple of updates on some of the fruit trees and obviously the veggie garden at the moment. So it is the middle of May, so you would imagine that not much would be growing, but here in Queensland you'd be so wrong. So my 9 to 5 is actually a primary school teacher, so currently the veggie garden has been a little bit neglected, so we've got some work to do and let's do that first. Then started some of the mowing yesterday. You can see where the dew is and he'll continue today should the sun hold. It was a bit dodgy yesterday. And this is the neglected veggie patch. I'll get to the mowing. I can't do it now because obviously the grass is way too wet, but we've got a few things going on that I thought I might just show you. So if you did happen to catch one of my previous videos on my strawberry saga, I'm happy to report that the 5 I planted in this bed are actually doing amazing. Now, just for those that don't know, I over-summered these because obviously here it is extremely hot in summer, but just look at them. So it's going to take a while before we'll obviously get any fruit off them, but they are doing a great job. This is the little one that I thought, oh, it might not actually take. Gentle tug and it's rooted in there quite well. You can see a little bit of new growth popping up. I think it was a bit more obvious on this one. Yep, there we go. So I'm really happy with this bed. Right, we had a little bit of a plumbing accident. I was digging around here and accidentally burst one of our pipes. Yeah. We just don't go there right now. I do have to come in and fill this up and try and get rid of some of the weeds, but that's just not going to happen today. So these are my snow peas. They've taken quite a long time to germinate. I might actually come and pop a couple more in here. So the biggest problem I've got in the garden at the moment, you will notice, is I'm late with everything and some of my seeds have actually not germinated at all. And I must be honest, I've not had this problem before. So we will be rectifying that today. These are just some capsicums. I'm not actually sure that this is the right season for them at the moment. I'm almost convinced it's not, but we are just testing it out and giving it a go. There's a couple of buds on there already, so stay tuned to see how well they do. They are just a sweet mix. So in this bed, all of this was planted via seed, and I am happy to report that finally some of it has started sprouting. These are my broad beans, and I'm growing just your normal everyday pea for the first time. I've never grown peas before, so that's going to be a bit of an experience. These are my bush beans, I think. Yes, bush beans, and I've only got 4 that have sprouted. I'm pretty sure I grew more than that. Yep, look, the birds are just having a field day. I'm going to just try and bury that. Oh. So the birds have been pecking around in here, but everything's looking so lush. The peas are just not tall enough to latch on, so I will just leave them for now. Ignore the big messy grass patch over there. It's crabgrass and we are actually struggling to get rid of it. I was going to start digging it out, but then, yeah, we've got pipes underneath and I didn't bury them very deep. I know. If you do irrigation, as much as I absolutely love ours, they're just not deep enough. So, lesson learned. So this is our onion bed. I've already lost a few, well, quite a few actually. And generally, I've not been successful with onions. I think last year was my first year, but we're trying again. Just brown onions at the moment. I will come and probably fill the gap in with some seed. That did seem to work for me last year. And then we've got some beetroot going on this side, and I will be planting quite a bit more as well. I do think I'm going to have to come and thin them out a little bit. And last year I had success when they got to about this size. I gently moved them and just planted them somewhere else. I didn't waste any. And I totally get it. It probably does not look like much at all. And oh my goodness, I just saw something extremely exciting. Now, the last time I did a really big cleanup and took you guys with me, we spoke about this passion fruit behind me, and I said if it didn't stop producing fruit, I would have to think about actually removing it. Look what I've just spotted. I'm a bit scared to walk in here because of snakes. Come on. But have a look. Oh my goodness. Here's some more. And I've just seen some others around the corner as well. Let's go and have a quick look. Where did I just see? Oh, here we go. Here are a couple more. Oh, jeepers, here's a big one. There's some more. Oh, I don't know what I've done right. Oh my goodness me. Look at this beast. Can you see that? Can you see the hand? That's absolutely insane. It's probably not going to be very edible. I've never seen a passion fruit so big before. But there are quite a few on here, guys. I've got to tell you, I've had this passion fruit for at least 2 years, I think. If not a little bit longer, actually. No, about 2 years. And we've never had any fruit on here. I think we had 3 once. The birds got them. We've personally not eaten any fruit off this vine. And it's died back in winter before, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's died. And I just left it. I hadn't taken it out yet, and it shot back up looking this lush. And I thought, oh, maybe. And then no fruit. So I'm really chuffed to see that. Hopefully they're edible. That's always, I guess, the thing that could be stopping us. Right, this is just literally watering grass. So we used some soil from the front that we were busy with the project, and we thought, oh, we'll save it, put it in this bed, add some compost and manure, which I've already done. But sadly, all that's shot up is grass. I did actually plant a whole bunch of brassica seedlings in here, and well, as you can see, nothing has sprouted. So this is the bed that we're going to work in today. And what I've actually done is bought a couple of starts because I'm now very late. So we've bought just a multi-head cauliflower. I've not actually grown that before. And what else have I got? I've just got a normal broccoli, green king, and a sugarloaf cabbage. So the other thing I bought yesterday was this chilli meow, don't know how you say that, my apologies, purple. So we're going to give this a go. Sven absolutely loves growing chilies, but they tend to cross-pollinate. So I've suggested that we put this one in one of the empty veggie beds, and I'll just plant around it so that it doesn't actually cross-pollinate with the one that's still in the greenhouse. So the other big bed also seems to just be watering a lot of grass. But I do have a couple of tomato plants that have finally shot up, and what I need to do is actually just thin them out a little bit because I just went nuts. So there's a couple more. I'll wait till these get a little bit stronger, and I'll try and actually move them instead of just taking them out. They are being eaten a little bit, but there's so many weeds, and I've never had weeds in my veggie garden before, so I'm really annoyed, but self-inflicted. So we'll have to up the mulch game. So let's finish planting up the veggie patch, and then I will take you around to some of the fruit trees we need to still plant today. Oh, so excited. And then show you a little bit of what's going on. So I've gone and mulched it first, thinking and hoping that it's going to work out a little easier than trying to put the mulch in all around the actual plants. Time will tell. But we're just going to go ahead and plant some of these seedlings, these brassicas. Oops. They create this like little ball of roots, and I'm really trying hard not to actually damage any. They're very wet. And very tangled. There we go. I've been loving playing with my little 3D printer, and I've made the little signs for all the veggies, so I'm going to put those in now before I forget what I've planted where, because that so happens, to be honest. These two beds here on the end that actually don't have anything in. One will be for the chilies and possibly carrots, and this one I'm going to put all my cabbages in because I just didn't have space in that big bed. So I'm going to take you around really slowly. But on the bird feeder that we made, I've got two big cockatoos, and they were just beautiful. I only put some seed in there yesterday, and they've started coming back. Oops, I scared one. We'll have to just stop here. Oh, he's gorgeous. He doesn't seem as phased, like he's watching me, but he's not quite as phased. Okay, so what I am going to do is plant a whole bunch of carrot seedlings around, and then Sven wanted me to plant some marigolds as well, so we'll do that too. I had really good success with carrots, so I'm hoping this season will be no different. I've got a whole bunch of different ones. These I think are just your standard all year round carrot. This sort of orange variety. And I've got some yellow ones, and then one called Burlicum. I can't remember what that looks like, but we'll be planting those too. I generally sow very heavily and then we'll come and thin them out. I do that just because I want maximum germination. You can always eat the baby carrots, they're quite tasty. I'll do a couple of standard ones. One thing I have learned with carrots is you don't want to plant them too deep. And they need to stay constantly moist. So I will put a light layer of mulch on here. And just gently rake over the soil. I think the yellow definitely. I just think they're just fun. Let's just do a few. Okay, half the bag it is. Oops. Now they're a good companion plant. They will help keep the soil loose. As they grow, they'll shade the chili plant a little bit. So this should be good. I haven't had flowers in the beds for ages. I'm really excited to have flowers back. And this year, if you stick around with me, I will be doing a cut garden bed. So I'm really, like as in fresh flowers, I'm really excited for that. So I do hope you stick around to see that. Right, so these are all planted up. I have gone and added some mulch to these two beds as well. It is starting to get towards the middle of the day, so I'd like to get those two fruit trees that I have planted. You may remember from a few videos back, and also when I cleaned up the greenhouse, that I had these 3 banana pups. I'm going to be taking my strongest one today and planting it in a hole that's actually already prepared. It did have a tree in there, but unfortunately with all the rain we had, that tree suffered some root rot, so it died off. But fear not, because I think this will do really well there. So this is where I plan to put it. It's a bit random in the sense that it's amongst some of my garden beds as opposed to all the other fruit. And just for context, there's the greenhouse. All the way down there are some of the fruit trees, and that's the veggie patch. So I'll just have to remember to come and make sure I water this banana plant, because it now won't be hooked up to the irrigation, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to actually water this one in, and what I've got here is some of our wormweed or worm juice, and I'm just going to put about half of this into a 9-litre watering can. It's probably a bit overkill, but I'll spread it around this entire bed, and hopefully that will give this banana a little bit of a boost. This stuff is like liquid gold, honestly. I may actually not use all of this because there is something else that could benefit. So I've done about half a can. I'll come and clean this up a bit later, but there's the banana tree. It's already standing up so beautifully. Oh, I'm a bit out of breath. Right. Over on this arch is a boysenberry. I thought it had died off, but it shot up all these beautiful new canes, and it's starting to droop a bit. I need to just keep training it, but I thought I could use the rest of that worm juice in here. This is what we're going to be planting today, and I'm extremely excited. So let's go to our mini fruit orchard. So this is where most of our fruit trees are. We've got a pawpaw, a lemon, a pawpaw behind that, the bananas, and then this is an orange tree. So all these fruit trees are irrigated along with the greenhouse. So it just kind of makes sense to put this lime tree amongst all of this, because we purposely with the orange tree left a small piece of pipe out so that we could always add to it. I won't be able to do that part today because we just don't have the fittings, but I can at least get the lime tree planted. Now the lime tree has also been in the greenhouse, so I'm a little bit concerned with the full sun, although that is what they require. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that planting it out while it's already got buds on is not going to be a problem. So I'm going to be putting it here in between the lemon and the orange. It is boiling, but I've dug the hole and it's time to prepare it now for the finger lime. I'm just going to do what I usually do, bag of manure, some blood and bone, and then this time I'm going to top it off with some fruit and citrus fertilizer, and hopefully that will give this clay-like soil a boost as well as the tree. And then I will be watering it in with some of that worm juice as well. And there you have it, lime tree planted. Have run out of mulch, so I'll have to just get some more, but it'll do for now. Now, I don't really know anything about finger limes, so if you guys know, let me know in the comments what I should be doing, any tips and tricks, or if it's kind of a leave it and let things just happen naturally. This is the red champagne variety, so that's pretty exciting. Oh, it's so hot, guys, even though it's overcast. Okay, I did say I'd give you a quick little property tour. So we are just under 2 acres, we've got 7,000 squares, and when we moved here, the only thing on this land, apart from the house, was these really big trees behind me. So everything else we've actually put in. So, even though we've only been here just over 2.5 years, some days I feel like we've done nothing, and then some days I have to just remind myself that there was actually nothing here. So start off, that's where our burn pile is, not that you can really see it. And this is our volunteer pumpkin plant. So we dumped a couple of pumpkins that had gone a bit rotten that we didn't quite get to, and this is what happened. This is the second year in a row now they've done this, and there are a few close by coming. I'm gonna just write off the ones that are in the very center because I don't want to be caught by snakes. And we've got a few that we can harvest when they are ready, just sort of on this outer skirt. There are stacks in there, believe me. So it is Sunday and the neighbors are mowing, so apologies. So that's the end of our property, and these are just 2 little native trees, and then that's Shed and what have you is our neighbor. So these are the trees that were kind of just here. One's actually dead, we need to try and get rid of it. It's this one, just before it causes any damage. What I did want to show you was our 2 dragon fruit. Now we've got a video on how to make these trellises, and they have just absolutely shot up. They are just doing so well. Still no fruit off them, but again, if you watch the video where we planted these, they have grown so much. Right, moving along here, I haven't even shown you guys this passion fruit that we're about to walk towards. It's our second one. Don't mind the sort of trellis. I had an idea in my head that didn't quite end up working out. That's okay. Well, it looks worse for wear, but it's not even a year old, and there are so many passion fruit on here. The birds have already been into it, so we may have to net. And there's some pretty decent sized ones too, and it's a purple variety, so different to the other one. Kind of excited about it. Oh, excuse the red face, I'm boiling. Right, now I've done a video on this one as well, so feel free to go back and watch that one. But this is our rescued pomegranate, and it is doing so well. Still no fruit, stacks of flowers. What I have been doing is just coming and hand pollinating them in the hopes that maybe we get a few fruit, but time will tell. Just take you through and show you what the herbs, look like. Now, if you recall, in one of my previous videos, I cleaned this place up and put together this little scrappy sort of bench. Look at the herbs, they're doing so well. Still haven't planted that though. But the spinach is grown, the chocolate mint is definitely, I would say, almost doubled. Lemon balm, parsley, oregano I planted from seed. My mint is still looking super, super lush. I need to actually come and harvest some. So, still great in here. I have got a pineapple that needs to find a home soon. I need to put that somewhere. This was from the original one I harvested, and I see it's finally got a little pup, so I'm just waiting for it to get a little bigger, and then I will plant that one out as well. I've got some sweet potato slips going on. Those are the rest of the strawberries. My mulberry tree is doing okay. I would obviously like it to be a little bit bigger. It is a dwarf though, so it's quite lush considering we're at the end of autumn. And then these guys, oh, I have never grown Rosella before, and 2 out of the 4 bushes I planted survived, and it's full of fruit. I've actually got to come and pick some more. I've been picking predominantly from this one, and oh my goodness, it's full. So I will actually be uploading it pretty soon, but I've made my first ever Rosella jam. So delicious, so worth it. It's quite tangy, so some people liken it to cranberry, and yeah, I guess I kind of agree, but it was so easy to grow. Then we've got these couple of garden beds. They're completely overgrown, but I will come and clean them up, and the idea is to kind of go from there through here, create a path, and then it kind of walks in. You know, once these trees have all grown, it should be quite an enchanting sort of little area. Now I was going to take you a bit closer to the bees, but Sven weed eated around them and then they got super angry, so I'll just show you from here. Beehive's still going really strong. It had a little rocky patch and it's recovered. Yeah, there is the catio around there and a few garden beds that I'm working on. Honestly, nothing really to show you, but that's the property tour at the moment. Front garden's got nothing, just grass and a couple of hedges. But yeah, so guys, I hope you've enjoyed today and just kind of getting a bit of an update and just spending some time with me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.